Okay, imagine this. It's late, really late at night. The city gates shut, locked tight. And just outside, near this old cemetery, there's a young boy, all alone. He's asleep under a wooden cart. And this city, Rajagaha, it has this reputation in the old stories.
Yeah.
It's known as a place where non-human beings, the amanusa, they often wander around. So you can almost feel it, can't you? The vulnerability, this sense of, well, unseen danger just lurking nearby.
Yeah.
The question is, what could possibly protect him? Is it just luck? Some charm?
Or something else entirely. Yeah, that tension is exactly where today's story kicks off.
So tell us about the source.
Right, so we're diving into an ancient text today. It's specifically from excerpts of the Dhammapada Commentary. We're looking at story number 217. It's often called the story of the woodcart driver.
Or in Pali.
In Pali, it's the Dārusākaṭikavatthu.
And the sources we have, they show this story passed down through Pali and Thai, alongside the English translation we're working from. It really gets home how old this is, how far it's traveled.
Absolutely. It speaks volumes about its resonance, that's been preserved and retold across different cultures and centuries like that.
It must have a powerful core message then.
It really does. And that's our mission for this deep dive, really. To unpack the story, follow its quite surprising twists, actually, and pull out the key insights it offers us, for today. Insights about what real protection means and the power of a cultivated mind.
Excellent. Let's get into it. Where does the story begin?
Okay, so we start right there in Rajagaha, this city known for the amanusa, and we meet two young boys, just kids, playing marbles.
A simple scene, but there's a twist even here, right? Based on their views.
Exactly. The text describes one as having right view, samadhi-tikaputto, and the other as having wrong view, micchabi-tikaputto. Names that tell you something about their perspective.
And this difference plays out in the game itself.
It does. So whenever the right view boy goes to shoot his marble, he first recollects the Buddha. He says, Namo Buddhassa.
Which means homage to the Buddha, essentially.
Precisely. And the text says when he does this, he wins. Every time. Meanwhile, the other boy, the wrong view one, he's invoking his own teachers, whatever he usually does, and he keeps losing.
So the wrong view boy notices this pattern.
He does. He sees the other kid winning consistently after saying this phrase, and he thinks, kind of logically, well, what I'm doing isn't working. Maybe I should try that.
Makes sense from a kid's perspective.
Right. So he starts doing it. He begins practicing recollection of the Buddha, Buddha-nussati himself, even if it's just to win at marbles initially.
But that small act, that shift in practice, that feels like it might be important later. Like planting a seed, as you said.
Exactly. It's a crucial turning point for him, even if he doesn't realize its full significance yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so fast forward a little. This boy's father, he's a woodcart driver.
Right, the title of the story.
Yeah. He takes the boy with him on a trip out to the forest to gather firewood. They load up the cart and start heading back towards Rajagaha. But as evening comes, they stop just outside the city gate. There's a place with water there near the cemetery we mentioned.
Convenient spot to rest, maybe?
Seems so. The father unhitches the oxen, lets them graze and drink while he has something to eat himself.
Makes sense.
But the oxen wander off. As it gets darker, they just sort of join a herd of cattle that's heading into the city for the night.
Oh, okay. So the father has to go get them.
Yep. He follows them into the city to retrieve his animals.
There's always a but in these stories, isn't there?
Seems like it. He gets his oxen back, no problem there. But by the time he leads them back to the city gate to leave again...
It's locked.
It's locked for the night. He can't get back out.
Leaving the boy.
Exactly where we started. Alone. Asleep under the cart. In the dark. Next to the cemetery. Just outside this city known for, well, non-humans.
Wow. Yeah. Talk about vulnerable. It sets the stage perfectly.
It really does. And according to the story, that vulnerability doesn't go unnoticed. The non-humans, the amanusa, they do see him there.
Okay. Here we go.
Yeah. And this is where things take a really dramatic turn. Because these amanusas, they're not all the same. Just like the boys, they have different views.
Oh, interesting. So it's not just a monolithic group of monsters.
Not at all. The text says one is hostile towards the Buddhist teaching, has wrong view, while the other actually has right view.
Okay, so a conflict brews immediately.
Instantly. The hostile one sees the boy and says, basically, dinner. This is our food.
Yikes.
But the other one, the one with right view, steps in right away, says something like, hold on, don't you want him? Trying to warn him off.
Does the warning work?
Nope. The hostile one ignores him completely, grabs the boy by his feet, and just starts dragging him away.
Oh, no.
But right then, in that very moment of being grabbed, of terror, remember that practice the boy started?
The Namo Buddhasa.
Yes, because he'd been practicing it. Even just a little, it comes out instinctively. He cries out, Namo Buddhasa.
And what happens? Does it work?
The effect, the text says, is immediate and powerful. The hostile non-human is suddenly struck by great fear. It just stops him in his tracks. He lets go and retreats, standing back.
Incredible. Just the words or the state of mind behind them.
The story implies it's the power inherent in that recollection, that connection to the Buddha, especially because the boy had genuinely practiced it. It completely flips the situation.
So what does the good non-human do now?
Well, the right view, one says to the other, essentially, look what you almost did. We messed up. We need to make this right. Let's protect him. And he stands guard over the boy.
Okay, that's a relief.
Yeah.
But knowing these stories, it probably gets weirder, doesn't it?
Oh, it absolutely does. What happens next is, well, it's quite astonishing, really. The hostile non-human, the one who is literally just about to eat the boy.
Yeah.
He goes into the city, the locked city.
Oh, right. Supernatural powers.
Exactly. He slips into the city, somehow finds and takes a royal food bowl, from the palace, fills it up with food, and brings it back outside the gates.
A golden bowl?
Yeah.
From the palace. That sounds risky. And strange.
Very strange. And then both non-humans, the hostile one and the protective one, they change their appearance. They make themselves look like the boy's own parents.
Oh.
To comfort him, it seems. They gently wake the boy up. He sees, mom and dad. They feed him the food from this fancy royal bowl.
He must have been so confused, but maybe relieved.
Probably just accepted it, thinking his parents had somehow managed to get back. But then there's another layer. They use their yaka power, their non-human ability, to carve a message right onto the golden bowl.
What does it say?
It says, let the king see these letters, not another.
Huh. Very specific and cryptic.
Right. And then they just leave, vanish, leaving the boy, who now feels safe and cared for, to fall back asleep under the cart.
Okay. What a night. So morning comes.
Morning comes, and inside the city there's a commotion. Some royal items have been stolen from the palace overnight. The king's men are searching everywhere.
Including the fancy golden bowl, presumably.
Exactly. They search high and low inside the city walls, find nothing. So eventually they check outside the gate.
And they see the wood cart.
They see the wood cart, and under it,
the golden bowl. With the boy.
Bingo. Obvious conclusion for them, right? Kid must be the thief.
Oh, of course. So they grab him.
Immediately, they seize the boy and the bowl and haul him straight to the king.
Okay. Now the king sees this bowl and the strange writing on it.
Yes. And the message says only the king should see it. So the king looks, sees the letters, and turns to the boy. All right, son, what happened here? Explain yourself.
And the boy? Does he know about the non-humans?
Nope. From his perspective, he just tells the truth as he experienced it. I was alone, sleeping under the cart. Then my parents, meaning the figures who look like them, they showed up, they woke me, fed me this amazing food, made me feel safe. I fell back asleep. That's honestly all I know.
Completely innocent account. Just very strange circumstances.
Exactly. And just then, his real parents arrive at the court. They found their oxen, finally got into the city that morning, heard their son was taken to the king.
So the whole story comes out now. The father explains about getting locked out, leaving the boy alone.
Right. The king hears the father's story, the boy's story, sees the bowl, the message. It's all very puzzling, but starting to make a kind of supernatural sense. So he decides there's only one person who can truly shed light on this.
The Buddha.
The Buddha. The king takes the boy, his parents, the bowl, everything, and goes to see the teacher.
And this is the setup for the big teaching moment, isn't it?
Precisely. The king lays out the whole bizarre sequence of events and asks the Buddha the core question that arises from it all. He asks, Venerable Sir, that phrase the boy used, Namo Buddhasa, is recollection of the Buddha the only protection? Or are other practices like, say, recollection of the Dhamma, the teaching, are they also protective?
That's a great question. Because the boy's cry seems so pivotal. Was that specific phrase the magic key?
Exactly. He's trying to understand the mechanism of protection here. And the Buddha's answer is, well, it broadens the perspective quite significantly.
Okay. What does he say?
He says, essentially, no. Recollection of the Buddha Buddhanusati isn't the only protection. The real key, the ultimate protection, lies in cultivating the mind in 6 particular ways.
6 ways, not just one phrase.
Right. And he adds that for those people who have cultivated their minds thoroughly in these 6 ways, they don't actually need any other protection. No external things like protective charms or spells or even special medicines. Their protection is internal.
Wow. Okay, that shifts things dramatically from focusing on an external threat and a single action to an internal state. So what are these 6 ways? We need to unpack those.
Absolutely. This is the heart of the teaching derived from the story. The Buddha lists them out in verses. The first one is the one the boy used, Buddha-mindfulness.
Recollection of the Buddha, focusing on his qualities, wisdom, compassion, that sort of thing.
Exactly. Bringing the qualities of the awakened mind to your mind. How does that protect? It creates an inner refuge, aligning yourself with something pure and steadfast. It calms the mind.
Okay, that makes sense. What's the second one?
The second is Dhammanusati, recollection of the Dhamma, the teaching itself.
So thinking about the truth of the teachings, their nature, like they're timeless, verifiable.
Precisely. Reflecting on the reliability and clarity of the path. That provides a stable ground within yourself, doesn't it? A reference point that fear and confusion can't easily shake. That's a kind of protection.
Right, protection against mental turmoil. Got it. Third
Third is Saganusati, recollection of the Sangha.
the community of practitioners, specifically the noble ones, the Arya Sangha, who've realized the teachings.
Yes, focusing on the qualities of those who embody the path. Thinking about their integrity, their practice. It offers protection against feeling isolated or discouraged on your own path. It's inspiring, gives you a sense of connection.
Okay, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. The 3 jewels. That feels like a familiar foundation. What's the fourth? This one sounds different.
It is a bit different. Fourth is Kayagattasai, recollection directed towards the body.
Mindfulness of the body. The text mentions things like contemplating the 32 parts, or the elements, or even cemetery contemplations. How's that protective? It sounds a bit grim, some of it.
That's a really good point. It might seem counterintuitive, but think about it. Remembering the actual nature of the body, its components, its impermanence, its processes, it anchors the mind firmly in present reality.
Ah, so it stops you getting swept away by thoughts.
Exactly. It cuts through fear, panic, fantasy, desire, all the things that hijack the mind when you're not grounded. Being fully present in the body, understanding its nature, makes you less vulnerable to mental states that cause suffering. It's a powerful stabilizer.
Okay, I see. Grounding is protection. Makes sense. What's number 5?
Number 5 is Ahisarata Mano, which translates roughly as a mind delighted in nonviolence or non-harming.
A mind that enjoys not causing harm.
Yes, and the commentary specifically clarifies that this refers primarily to cultivating karud compassion.
Compassion as protection. How does that work?
Well, a mind genuinely filled with compassion for all beings naturally lessens hostility, both within yourself and sometimes how others react to you. Think about the good non-human in the story. His compassion, his delight in nonviolence motivated him to protect the boy. It's a proactive force.
Right. It changes the dynamic. Okay.
Okay.
And the 6th one?
The 6th is Bhavanarata Mano, a mind delighted in development or cultivation.
That sounds quite broad. Development of what?
It is broad, but again, the text gives a primary focus here. Metta, loving kindness.
Ah, okay. So compassion and loving kindness are highlighted as key mental states for protection.
Exactly. Cultivating metta means actively generating feelings of warmth, goodwill, and unconditional friendliness towards yourself and all beings. Like compassion, it works to disarm inner and outer hostility. It creates a kind of positive field. The story showed this too. Even the hostile non-human ended up participating in an act of care, influenced perhaps by the presence of the other and the boy state.
So these 6, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha recollection, body mindfulness, compassion, and loving kindness. That's the toolkit for inner protection.
That's what the Buddha presents here. And he says that those whose minds are constantly, day and night, absorbed in these 6 areas, they awaken well. Even from sleep, they are protected and wake peacefully.
Constantly absorbed. That sounds like a very high bar, like full-time monk level practice.
It does, doesn't it? But here's a really important clarification the text includes, which makes it much more accessible.
Oh, good. What is it?
The Buddha apparently added that even if someone can't maintain this constant absorption, even if they practice these recollections and cultivations just irregularly, maybe once a day, maybe just sometimes, they still awaken well.
So it's not all or nothing. Even making the effort, even inconsistent effort, still brings a measure of this protective quality, this well-being.
Exactly. That's incredibly encouraging, I think. Every little bit counts towards building that inner refuge.
So going back to the story's outcome, what happened to the boy and his family after hearing this teaching?
The impact was profound. The text says that upon hearing this discourse directly from the Buddha, the boy and both his parents attained the fruit of stream entry, the first stage of awakening, right there on the spot.
Wow. Immediately.
Immediately. And later on, they all eventually ordained and became arahants, fully liberated beings. So this teaching wasn't just theoretical for them, it fundamentally changed their lives.
What an incredible arc. From a terrifying night near a cemetery to full awakening, all stemming from that initial, simple act of recollection.
It really highlights how powerful these practices can be when understood and applied.
So if we synthesize the key insight here, it seems the core message, pulled from this ancient story and the Buddha's explanation, is that true, reliable protection isn't about external factors like luck or magic amulets. It's fundamentally about our inner state.
Precisely. It's about the quality of our own mind, cultivated through mindfulness, through wisdom, and through these positive emotional states like compassion and loving kindness towards ourselves and others. That's the real source of resilience and safety.
It's quite a counterintuitive idea in some ways, isn't it? Especially when we feel threatened by external things. We tend to look for external solutions.
We do. But this teaching points inwards. It suggests that how we navigate the world, how resilient we are to its challenges, including maybe, the non-humans of modern life, like anxiety, information overload, uncertainty, depends deeply on what we cultivate internally.
That's a really practical takeaway from such an old, almost mythic-feeling story. It's not just about literal non-humans, but about our inner resources to face whatever life throws at us.
Exactly. The cultivated mind is the ultimate refuge.
Which leaves us, and you listening, with a pretty potent final thought to consider, doesn't it? If this inner cultivation, these 6 practices, offer the most powerful form of protection and well-being, what's one small step, maybe even an irregular step, towards exploring one of them that you could genuinely take today?